Nice to see some other people around this week. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about steampunk, because Christine started talking about that yesterday, and I like steampunk, or at least I got into it about a year ago, or at least I tried to get into it about a year ago, because, well, my friend Ben, he's a fan of it, and also I don't know, I just started seeing more of it online or at conventions. Like at IOCON I went to last year, there was a whole panel talking about steampunk, and I went to it and I found it all very fascinating. The fact that it sort of penetrates music and computer games and movies and TV and all sorts of different areas. And like I say, I think it's a really cool style. In fact, I bought this top that I'm wearing from a store which sold a load of steampunk stuff, and if I ever do decide to create my own steampunk character, this is probably what she'd wear. So I just love the frills, really bit, and it's so smart. I just love how it looks a lot better when I wear it with a skirt than with green trousers, but I couldn't really be asked to get changed. But yeah, as for books go, because Christine was asking for recommendations on books, I asked Ben that exact same question when I showed an interest, and he lent me a whole load of them. And the only ones I read Soulless by Gail Carriger. This one I thought was interesting. It's about a woman called Alexa Tarabotti, who is, she's what's known as a soulless person because she has no soul. It doesn't mean she's a bad person, but it means that she cannot be affected by other supernatural creatures. I think, I read it last year, I've forgotten, but it's something like that. She can't be affected by them or turned into one, or she knows, she recognises them, I think that's it, she can recognise them. And they all live in like society, like vampires, werewolves, they're all sort of known within society. It's a bit like Terry Pratchett for the real world, set in the Victorian era. And it's a bit of a romance. I don't say it's very steampunky because I think they have airships, but that's about it. I can't really remember anything else particularly steampunky about it, but it's still a good story. But if you really want something that's very more sort of steampunk, I suppose George Mann. I read the first one of these books because these have got, it's called The Affinity Bridge was the one I read. And it's basically about these Newbury and Hobbs, which is like a detective, I guess they are, partnership. One's a man, one's a woman, and they were looking into something to do with automations, and they had airships in that, and that felt more steampunky than Soulless did. But I didn't actually enjoy it. Well, it's not I didn't like it, I just didn't really find it particularly exciting. I didn't really like the characters. I found them kind of dull, and the story was quite interesting, the plot overall, but the characters, yeah, it was almost like they were trying to tell us how cool they were without really showing us, and I just felt that there wasn't really enough there. It didn't, I don't know, I just didn't get on with it very well. And the only other one I've got, again, I don't know how steampunky is, but it's I think it's Johannes, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's Johannes Cabell. I can't pronounce his name at all. There it is. Anyone can read that. This is actually the second book, but the first one is just called Jonas Cabell, the Necromancer, and it's about a guy who is a necromancer in what I assume is sort of like the turn of the century, 19th century, 19th to 20th century. And he's, like I say, he's a necromancer, so he can raise the dead, but he also made a deal with the devil, and he's trying to get so many souls so he can get his own soul back or something like that. And he does it by tempting people to come to a fairground that he sets up, a travelling fairground. And he's actually really good. He's quite an interesting character because he's not a good guy. I mean, he's trying to take people's souls and sell them to the devil to get his own back. But he's not cut and dry, good, bad. He's very sort of a grey character when it comes to his personality and whether he's good or bad. But I read the first one and I really enjoyed that. And this is the second one where he's a detective now. I would definitely recommend. I would definitely recommend them anyway because they're good. And that's about it. I don't really. There are some books specifically on steampunk, of course. I recommend sort of looking into that if you want to know more about the culture and whatnot. It's definitely one that's popped up more over the last few years. Even though steampunk novels go right back. I mean, Jules Verne is technically can be considered steampunk, can't he? Because he created these incredible devices before they were actually created. You know. So I would definitely recommend looking up Jules Verne, because I've read 20,000 Leagues. Well, I'd recommend reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea if you enjoy learning about marine biology, because to be honest, you learn more about that than you do about anything else. But, yeah, so that's all I can really say about steampunk, except I really would like to get into it more. More in the sort of fashion ways, because like I said, I love this top and I'd love to create an outfit, because you see people at Expo, they've got a whole steampunk section, and it is, some of the outfits they come up with are so creative and so beautiful, and they are a lot more detailed than just putting cogs on it and calling it steampunk. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the subject. I hope my book recommendations are good. So I'll see whoever posts next whenever they post.